Good morning and welcome back to Workforce. Today we're going to talk about mean, median, mode, and range. Some of you guys have done this before. If you have not done this, make sure you pay attention very carefully. You'll be expected to find four things on each problem today. You'll find mean, median, mode, and range. So let's look at how we find the mean. The mean is the average of a set of numbers. So if you don't know what to find an average is, all you do is you add up all the numbers all together, get your total, then divide by however many numbers there are in the whole set. So if you have like 10 numbers, you divide by 10. If you have 5 numbers, you divide by 5. Okay. Anytime you're doing a division, you might get decimals. If you get decimals, round to 2 decimal places. Can't guarantee you're going to get a lot of them, but just make sure you know what to do. So let's try a few examples. We've got here 5, 6, 7, 8, and 10. If we want to find the average or the mean, all we do is we add them up. And since there are 5 numbers, you divide by 5. So 5 plus 7 plus 6 plus 8 plus 10. So let's see, that's 21, 29, I think it's 36. 36 divided by 5 is 7.2. Sometimes it comes out to a nice easy number or decimal. Other times it might take a little bit more. Let's try one more here. Here we got 23, 34, 43, 23, 12, and 16. So I want to add all 6 of those numbers up. So when I do so, if I add them all up and divide by 6, I in this case get 25.17. So I get a longer decimal, but make sure just round to 2 decimal places, and that's all I will be expecting. This is the average. Okay, so if this was like the average test score was 25.17 points. It just depends on what it is. It doesn't necessarily have to have a characteristic, but it's just something you should be able to calculate pretty easily. Our next thing we're going to look at is mode. Okay, the mode is the number or numbers that appear the most often in a set. Okay, so it doesn't have to be just one number, it could be multiple numbers. For example, which number appears the most out of this set? So here I've got 3, 4, 5, 7, 2, 3, 5, 6, 2, and 2. In this case, I have got a 3. I've got 2 3s. I've also got, let's see, I've got a 2, 2, and 2. And it looks like I got 2 5s, but the most I have is 2. So we would say our mode is 2. You look for the number that appears the most. If we look at this one, there's a lot here. Looks like I've got some 34s, so I'm going to actually mark those. We've got 34, 34. I've got another 34, and I've got another 34 over here. I have got a couple 23s, so here's a 23. Notice I'm using different colors here because I want to make sure I know which one is which. In this case, I have got, how many 23s? So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 23s. I've got 4 34s. Technically, our mode is 23. In this case, I thought I had written another 34 in there. I didn't. So we don't have 34 as our mode, but I want you to know you can have more than one number that appears the most times. So we came close with 34. If I had another 34 there, there would be 5 34s and 5 23s. Both of those would be considered the mode. So it's perfectly fine to have more than one. If nothing appears, nothing repeats, then there is no mode. Just keep that in mind. Doesn't happen very often, but it can. Next thing we want to do is find median. This one tends to take the longest only because you have to put numbers in order. Okay, it's the middle number of a set of numbers. So when it's in the middle, you have to find the smallest, the largest, and write them all out. So in this case, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, I have these all written out in order. So now the next thing I got to do is, what's the middle number? Well, if I count spaces 1, 2, 3, and then I go this way 1, 2, 3, this one right here becomes the median. It's in between. There's 2 on the left, there's 2 on the right, that one's in the middle, and our median is 4. Now, if I've got something like this, I've got 5, 8, 6, 4, 3. I don't know which one's in the middle, so I have to rewrite it and put it from smallest to greatest. So if I change it 4, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, in this case, 5 is the one in the middle. Okay, so always make sure to put the numbers in order. Okay, Sometimes you don't have to put all of them. You just have to put a certain amount and you can find the answer really quick. Some other times it takes a little bit of time. So what would be the median of this set? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, here's a problem. There's no middle number. There's nothing right here in the middle that tells me what that number is, because there'd be 3 on one side, 3 on another. To deal with this, you have to take the two closest middle numbers, add them together, and divide by 2. So the two closest here would be 4 and 5. So I'm going to add those and divide by 2. So 4 plus 5 divided by 2, 9 divided by 2, 4.5 is the median. Sometimes you'll get a 0.5, sometimes you'll get a decimal, sometimes it might be a whole number. So anytime there's no true middle number, take the two closest, add them together, divide by 2. The last thing you have to do is the range. This is probably the easiest portion. To find the range, you subtract the biggest number from the smallest. So whatever the biggest number is, then subtract the smallest number, whatever it is, and there's your answer. So in here we've got 2, 3, 5, 6, 8, and 10. These happen to be in order, which makes it nice. So our range is the biggest minus the smallest. So 10 minus 2 is equal to 8. Our next one, 23, 67, 45, 34, 43, and 87. Well, I know 87 is the largest. The smallest is 23. So the range is 87 minus 23 equals 64. So these are the steps that you have to take for all 4 of these. Take your time. Make sure you're giving me all 4 answers for each problem. The median is probably going to be the longest. The other one should not be as difficult. Just make sure we get it done and turn it in. You'll be all set. If you have any questions, make sure you get online and come talk to me.